I don't put it as a nice feeling like a massage. It's 0 positive, 0 negative, a bagel. That's it. There was no sensation. Again, I did it on my thigh. I followed the instructions of others. Here we are. Looks harmless enough. This little thing, this is the culprit. This is it. This could be the hardest part. If you want to take this and get the benefits of this, you gotta go through this. This is the Wegovy pen. And you've got to jab yourself. And you've got to do it over and over, week after week. The first one. That first one, that's the hardest. Okay, because it's all up here in your mind in terms of what it's gonna be like. The fears are there about the pain of jabbing yourself. So yes, you've got to figure out if you can jab yourself and how you're going to jab yourself. And in the end, you have to be able to get over that mental fear that's right here. For me, it was a mental fear because look, the color is yellow right there. You see it? That means I've done it. Yes, so far, this getting to here is the hardest part. Of course, I had to unscrew this thing, get to the needle that's inside here. This is a really smartly designed device. It doesn't look like a syringe. That's what I don't like about that other one. When you go to give yourself an injection, that one, it's with a traditional syringe. It's very long to me. I think this is a pretty short needle that's inside here. This has a little shock absorber effect. It's spring-loaded. You put it against your body, you push it down, you hear the first click, you hear the second click, you count to 10 or 15. I counted to 15 for good measure, and you see that window turns yellow, and voila, it's done. Quite possibly the hardest part is getting through your own fears, conquering your own fears. Guess what, people? I didn't feel anything. On a scale of 1 to 10, if I could go negative, I probably would. I mean, I did feel putting the pen against my leg. I did not feel even a prick, as we all have had many shots. Jesus Christ, we've been through this whole thing with the COVID, 5 of those. Okay, then there's flu shots. Yeah, I just got one of those, and I've been getting those regularly. I mean, I've had plenty of shots. We all have. And I have to tell you, I was sitting there, and I wasn't looking forward to it, and I was a little, squeamish about it. I mean, that second when she's going to stick the needle in, I'm like pulling back because your mind tells you that this is more than it is. I don't know. Maybe for some people it tells them, go wild. Give me more. Bring it up. But, that's not me. I mean, think about going to the dentist. Who really likes going to the dentist? Yet again, we all get through it, and we've all had procedures. But this is a 0. Bagel-arino. I mean, I don't put it as a nice feeling like a massage. It's 0 positive, 0 negative, a bagel. That's it. There was no pain. There was no sensation. Again, I did it on my thigh. I followed the instructions of others. I pinched up, but you take some skin and you create a little pinch there. I'm sure you guys can all see this. That's a little bit of a fatty thing. It doesn't need to be more than this. I don't think the needle goes in very deep. Push the pen against the skin with the other hand, and you just wait because there's nothing else to do. And so it's over. I'm waiting. What am I waiting for? I guess I'm waiting for some crazy side effect. I'm waiting for extreme nausea. I'm waiting for either constipation or diarrhea. I'm waiting for extreme fatigue, worse than your COVID side effect. And I had some bad COVID experiences. Basically, it was a cough and a fatigue that went on for more than 6 weeks, maybe even 2 months or so. I mean, it gets hard. You lose track. So I was well enough to go out and walk around and do stuff, but I wasn't able to do it at a high level because I was tired and I was coughing and I just wasn't comfortable throughout the day. But the fatigue was the killingly worst thing, although the coughing and the phlegm and all that kind of stuff, at some point it hurts your chest. And it's just very, very tough thing when it lingers. It just lingers for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I would bug my doctor. I mean, is this normal? Something's going on. What can you do? Why can't you do something? I mean, look at this. We can put a man on the moon and we can give people Wegovy, but we can't do anything about the common cough. Well, I don't know how common that one was, but that was my experience there. And then a few months ago, I got a cold, but the test said that I didn't have COVID. And then I did another test. So I did multiple tests. I even went down to Walgreens and had one of their PCR tests. You have to wait 2-3 days to get it back. That was another bagel. I mean, I happen to like bagels. I guess I'm not going to be eating too many more going forward. But hey, the test came back negative. but the symptoms were almost the same. I didn't have a fever, but of course the cough and the fatigue were essentially identical. And so I went in and again tested upon. I had x-rays and this and that when it was just waiting it out. So we've all been through the ringer to some extent. Anyone that's here has probably been through the ringer, and our mind is left to wander. A healthier lifestyle, a healthier life. It's worth putting up with some pain. I was actually anticipating a little pain. I had people offer to give me the jab and do it for me, which is very nice. And of course, it's very reassuring to know that people care and people can and will be there for you. And the offer alone is so valuable. So thank you. But I said no. I declined because if I'm going to do this for week after week for God knows how long, well, I've got to be able to do it myself. I knew that. And so I declined for, what I think are the right reasons, not because I didn't want someone to help me do it, not because I wasn't afraid of doing it myself. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to do it myself, and I was afraid that it would be a real impediment to actually taking this drug. But I knew that I had to be able to do my own jab. Let's talk about the side effects. Let's talk about the reaction. Let's talk about what's happening. It's really unbelievable. And it's got me wondering a little bit, is this going to work? Because, again, I sort of have no side effect. Zero. You're saying, okay, well, it's just been a few minutes. No, it's actually been 12 hours. And I have to tell you, I feel nothing. Zero. Zilch. However, I don't think I'm getting much benefit yet either. I don't feel any appetite suppression, but it's sort of early and I'm just not hungry, but I normally wouldn't be hungry right now. I'm a little wondering, is this dosage too low? But that's, again, more mind games. Let's build up getting used to this thing. I'm here for the long run and I feel good about it. And that's certainly better than feeling crazy. I was anticipating that after 12 hours, I would feel something in my system, but no. So I'm going to just take this as a normal day. And I'm going to stick with basically a keto diet. What do I have on my keto diet? Well, I have coffee. So we'll take a sip here. I'm drinking Pete's Caramel Brulee. It's got a nice flavor. I bought this at the supermarket the other day, but I would drink it black, but I found this too from Atkins. It's one of their shakes, their protein shakes. It only has 2 grams of net carb. So I generally take half a bottle and I mix it in with my coffee. It's like drinking a coffee milkshake with chocolate or whatever flavor. I think I prefer the caramel flavor again, but they had a box of chocolate that was on sale, and so I bought that. I think it was at Wegmans. Otherwise, I like the vanilla, probably my second favorite flavor. This is milk chocolate. Might be my least, but it's certainly delicious. If that's your least, it's a pretty good thing. I do really like the Atkins bars, especially, not this one as much. I don't know, chocolate chip granola bar. This is the last one I have, so I have to go to the market today. But I really like the peanut butter granola bar. Sometimes they run out of it. I'm sure I'm not alone, because when I go to my market, which carries a pretty good lineup of Atkins bars, they do carry the peanut butter granola bar, but they seem to be out of it all the time. That's one of the things I don't get. Okay, if this is the most popular bar and you're out of it frequently, then why don't you just stock more? I mean, it's pretty predictable, isn't it? Does the demand really go up and down like wild? No, I don't think so. I just don't think so. And let me just tell you, there's a whole lot of lemon bars out there on the shelves, and I don't see very many of the peanut butter, so I've just got to go back repeatedly to get the same bar. I could pay a little more, I guess, and order them from Amazon and have stacks and stacks. I have the same experience at Bruegger's Bagel, and usually then I'm not buying for myself. I'm buying for someone else, but I don't find that they're very good at predicting their own demands. And what's the cost of extra leftover bagels? 2 cents? That I'm going to look for have to be very popular because they're out of them all the time. Just doesn't make sense to me. But it should be pretty predictable. I mean, you've got a huge chain, and then each store has its own experience, but they've got years and years. I mean, we're talking bagels and bagels and bagels sold. They should be able to have enough. Because, again, the cost of having a few too many, it's not like, their cost of goods is 50% here. I don't know what the cost of a bagel is, but it's got to be peanuts, okay? So if someone goes in, looks at the rack, doesn't find their bagel, and walks out, that costs like 15 times the cost of what it would have been if you had one left over. Well, there is a mathematical formula here, and you can hire someone. They can hire someone to see how much extra they should make. I mean, there is a way to calculate that based upon the marginal cost versus the marginal income, etc. You know, it's just 'cause sometimes you gotta wonder here, what are people thinking? But I do like the Atkins peanut butter granola bars. Those are good. And then there's a chocolate, sort of gooey chocolate with caramel and nuts. I want to say a Milky Way with an Almond Joy, but it's such a good thing. How can this be like a diet food, okay? It's a pure candy bar, for Christ's sake. I mean, both one's pretty candy barish to begin with. I mean, look at it. Chocolate and nuts, and one has pretzels and all this kind of stuff. And you look at the back and net carb. Okay, so it says 18 total carbs, but that's a high number. It would blow your whole basically daily. If you're trying to target 20, you basically would blow it with one Atkins bar. Well, let's look at the nutritional information here. It says 3 grams Atkins net carbs, as if an Atkins net carb is different from someone else's net carb. No, they get from 18 to 3 because there are 7 grams of dietary fiber. Does this mean it's going to help you with the fiber department? I don't know. That's 25% of your recommended daily allowance. But they say to subtract that out. That just doesn't count. Doesn't count as a carb. Okay, so that gets you down to 11. And then they say that there are 8 grams of glycerin. I don't know, God, what the heck is glycerin? Doesn't sound like a good thing, but you subtract it out. Just magically, 18 goes to 3. You subtract out 15, 7 fiber and 8 glycerin is 15, and you end up with 3 net carbs. But I get confused when it comes to vegetables, which do have net carbs, and bring you up over the 20 threshold as to what I should be doing on the vegetable front. I'm talking basically green leafy vegetables. I do like a spinach salad with either red wine vinegar or balsamic vinegar. I mean, I do like sometimes edamame and green beans. I don't like broccoli. I gotta tell you, broccoli is the most antagonistic vegetable out there. It gets all over everything. It attacks all your food. Broccoli is the #1 worst food of all time. Not just the worst vegetable, worst food. That's it. You get these little green things everywhere on your food. You order Chinese food and it comes with broccoli, you are toast because you got this green stuff all over them. I mean, even if you just have a little on the side, it's going to infect the plate. It's going to infect the other things that it's next to. Almost by osmosis. It just can't help but leaving little traces of itself. Well, we all know that you can't like everything, and certainly I guess I've taken it out on broccoli, but I've always felt that way since I was a little kid, and it's never changed. I will actually give something to Brussels sprouts, which if prepared correctly, which means you're pretty much hiding the flavor of them, grilled and some sort of sauce or something, I can eat a Brussels sprout now, or some Brussels sprout. I don't really like asparagus either. So I've got some issues, some limitations. These are from me, okay? I know I'm a little out there on this front, but that's what I have to deal with. I do want to eat some vegetables because I know they're healthy. I do take the fruits and vegetables pills that I buy from Costco. They say that this is really good for you. It's like having, an overdose of fruits and vegetables, not in a bad way, plenty, in 2 capsules each, 2 vegetables, 2 fruits. And you're getting lots of great vitamins from that. Frankly, I don't feel a thing from them either. But I have to tell you, when I take those pills and I see people on TV and they swear by them, the girl, goes, bah, 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 boom. That's how she feels in the morning because she takes her fruits and vegetable pills. I have a sense that my body is going to tell me I can expand my diet a little bit on Wegovy because I'm not going to eat the same quantity. And so I'm going to feel full. And that's a good thing. Smaller quantity, feeling full earlier. So maybe I can have some higher carb things. Again, in smaller portions, but maybe I enjoy them a little more than my current diet, which is basically focused on protein. It does get boring. I mean, steak. Gotta love it. I mean, I've gone wild and expanded from sirloin to ribeye. And then I do vary. Sometimes I'll have chicken and sometimes have turkey. I just had scallops last night. That's twice this week I've had scallops. And 3 times probably in the last 10 days or something. So I'm on a little bit of a sea scallop kick. And they're pretty good. I just do them very simply. I have a wok. It's not exactly a wok, as a flat bottom, but it has a very thick coating so nothing sticks to it. It's the single best pan, but get the one that has 3 or 5 layers of the nonstick coating so that you don't go through it, because with the cleaning and all the cooking, they take a beating. And I haven't found one that holds up to the resistance of the cooking and the resistance of the cleaning with the nonstick surface like this Willing product does. It's really impressive. It is a little heavy than most of the other ones because, again, it's got so many coatings and it's very sturdy. But so you have this really nice, a little bit crispy on the outside scallop with nice seasoning of basically salt and pepper. Oh, I do put some fresh lemon in it. I have a fresh lemon squeezer that makes lemon juice, and I basically, 1 lemon's probably good for a half pound or so of